Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. I'm going to ask you something that may be one of the most significant questions you'll ever ask yourself as far as pertaining to living the life of your desires. What if you've been solving the wrong freaking problem? Because if you have, it does not matter how hard you work or how much you know or what's the next process or system that you're going to use to improve the quality of your life, you're going to continue to find yourself in the same painful patterns. And I can hear you go, wait. The anxiety, the people pleasing, the depression, although I'm not supposed to call it depression because that's considered a diagnosis code that says you need to be on medication. So instead, situational sadness or low self-esteem, burnout, perfectionism, imposter syndrome, sleeplessness, we have to use that instead of insomnia because again, that means you need to be on meds, relationship conflicts, procrastination, and more. What if they were symptoms and not the cause? So let's go back to the solving problems because we are all great problem solvers. I mean, think about it. From the time you entered school, you were rewarded for solving problems. Math, reading, science, history. The more problems you solved, the better the grade, the better the opportunities, and you became programmed to believe success comes from solving problems. But there's a problem with that programming because life is not a test. And if your subconscious has been programmed to look for problems, guess what? It becomes incredibly magnificent at finding problems everywhere. Relationships, health, money, business, children, marriage. And your attention becomes trained towards fixing instead of creating. By the way, I said programmed. There's programming, conditioning, then there's solving and identity. So programming is what we were taught to focus on, what we were taught to value. And literally how our powerful brain works is that you will leave out what does not agree with that current programming. So there are things in your environment right now that could assist you in moving forward. And you have what's known as a subconscious scotoma, which is a fancy word or phrase for blind spot because it doesn't agree with the programming that you need to be solving problems. Conditioning is about the energy of your emotions. Then there is what type of mindset are you problem solving or are you creator? And then the identity that has formed because of all of those. So let's go back to symptoms are not problems. So again, procrastination, anxiety, boundary issues, being a people pleaser, lacking self-confidence, and feeling like you sabotage yourself. Well, it's not really sabotage. No, it is a maladaptive strategy because your development was interrupted. Oh, what do I mean by that? Oh, so for almost 25 years now, I've noticed that there are 4 levels of development that we all go through. Certainty, which is what can we count on? Freedom, which is the choices and how we're going to express ourselves. Worthiness is the significance we bring based on who we are. And then the validation, how the environment then fosters all of this to produce results. And in these 4 levels, you have functional sides that are going to lead to fulfillment. But then you've got dysfunctional because you had to maladapt because of the environment that you were in. So, most people ask, oh, well, how can I stop procrastinating? And I ask, well, what is your subconscious trying to protect by procrastinating? Because procrastinating at the level of certainty and procrastinating at the level of worthiness are going to show up 2 different ways. So when you're like, how do I stop? You're attacking the behavior, but then you're also going after the identity that had to be formed because of that behavior. And you wind up fighting yourself. And whenever there is an internal conflict, you will never outperform it externally. So these 4 foundational developmental needs, they're not personality, they're not temperament, they are development. So certainty says, am I safe? And if that is healthy, then you learn safety, which is needing to depend on other people, places, and things to be okay. But you also learn security. If it is to be, it is up to me. And for most of the women I work with, they are hyper independent because they learned they could not count on anybody because each level also has its own wound. And this is the level of abandonment. And so you were left to figure it out all on your own. And you will continue to do that and not be able to see because of that subconscious scotoma, the people that you really could trust that would be able to assist you. And so the subconscious creates a strategy when any of these levels is interrupted. And that strategy is going to be with the programming, the conditioning, the problems that you need to solve, and then the identity that is encapsulating all of this. And that is what keeps getting queued up. Every painful pattern you've ever experienced is your subconscious attempting to answer one of these developmental levels. And that's why solving the symptom very rarely works, because that's never been the real question. I mean, imagine spending years trying to stop people pleasing when your subconscious has actually been trying to answer, am I secure if someone is disappointed with me? Or trying to become confident, that whole fake it till you make it, which is imposter syndrome dressed up, when your subconscious is asking, am I enough? And if not, how can I be? Any dream that you want to turn into reality, well, you're not looking for a process for progress when you're still trying to solve yesterday's invisibility. And this is why sustained progress feels so difficult. It's not because you're broken, flawed, and need to be fixed. It's because you're going after the wrong problem. So this week, instead of asking what's wrong with me, well, you can start asking, what developmental question might my subconscious still be trying to answer? And you don't have to know the answer yet, just be curious, because curiosity will open doors that criticism never will. And if this has sparked something inside of you to where you're like, oh, better answers come from asking better questions. And the better question is, which developmental level is my subconscious still trying to resolve from your painful past? That's what we're going to be doing in my upcoming workshop, Break Through the Self-Sabotage, Map Your Path Forward, because you're going to take several tests during this workshop that are going to pertain to what level have you been stuck at. Not that it's wrong or broken. It is incomplete and immature whenever you're trying to map out your progress and turning your dream into your reality. And then after that, once you discover that, then we can look at your programming, conditioning, problem solving versus creating the life and the identity that you want to switch into. And then from there, there's an entirely new level of healing, wholeness, thriving, and life by design, because your subconscious has developed past strategies to deal with the pain in your life, and it is still influencing your decisions today. It's time for you to upgrade it and to use it now. These things that have been a challenge, I'll give you another example. I had somebody call me today that I haven't worked with in almost 25 years. And he reached back out and he said, I got a new challenge. He said, I am all or nothing. It's the gas pedal all the way to the floor until the engine is completely dry. There's nothing left. And then it takes me forever to recuperate. And then I have to do it all over again. And I'm like, well, yeah. It's simply a strategy that you learned because of the environment that you were in at one point in time that was inflicting pain. And so instead of adapting to you, your strengths, talents, abilities, and skills, you had to adapt to that environment. And gosh, you're trying to outrun it still until you run out of gas, and then the environment catches back up, and then you need to be running again. Yeah. And so the idea is to say, which level did you stop developing at that now we can go back to and say, oh, no, my focus, my feelings with my energy, my implementation for impact, and my turning my dreams and desires into my reality, well, it can be built on this, because the fact that he can move so fast forward is actually a blessing. It's a gift. And he just hasn't learned how to harmonize it with, you don't do it until you completely run dry. You do it until it's time to renew and refresh. So the strategies that you've been using that would be considered self-sabotage are simply incomplete. They're immature. And now it's time for you to say, how can we use this? Because it's actually one of the best parts of you. It just hasn't been packaged in a way where it can be used as progress. So if you'd like to join the workshop waitlist, go to dawnlandrum.com. As my gift, you'll receive my resistance release hypnosis audio. And that is designed to get subconscious agreement for the upgrades that you are ready to make. Until we get together again, keep this in mind. You're not solving the wrong problem. You're simply dealing with symptoms. And, well, those symptoms can point you to your success when they're used as a process for progress. One more thing. You really don't need more information. You need a breakthrough. And so I want to personally invite you to something that you can't register for yet. I have an upcoming workshop that is going to assist you if you ask yourself, why do I keep ending up here? It is breakthrough self-sabotage and map your path forward, where you're going to discover the subconscious patterns that have been shaping your life, identify what's truly been keeping you stuck, and leave with a clear path forward. But registration isn't open yet. So you can join the workshop wait list to find out when it does open. And I'm going to give a gift to you immediately so you can help yourself begin releasing the subconscious resistance that's been standing between you and the life you desire. And so sign up for the workshop wait list just to get notified when registration opens. And you're going to receive immediate access to your resistance release hypnosis audio experience. Okay, go to dawnlandrum.com to join the workshop waitlist, and let's begin your breakthrough together.